Ever wonder what to do with your beef trimmings and fat? Well, today we're going to turn this into this. Smoked beef tallow. Today in Cookin Newfoundlander. Hey there everyone, and welcome back to another show, episode, video, whatever you want to call it. So I know we always have these leftover beef trimmings. You know, everybody says, hey, cut it up and make beef tallow. And everybody's like, well, what's everybody talk about this beef tallow about? Well, today we're going to be making some of that beef tallow and making full use of your trimmings. So what we're going to do is we're going to just take some of this leftover fat that I had put into the freezer from my brisket cook that I had from Canada today, this weekend. I didn't shoot a video or anything, just had a pile of people over and whatever. And we're just going to cut it up into smaller cubes. And what we're going to do is we're going to put it over on a cast iron pot that I have put in my Weber kettle on the barbecue cart. Now you can use this inside your home. You could put it on the smoker while you're cooking. You can do it on any grill or hot surface, but I like to do it out here on the old kettle. Throw in a little bit of maple wood, shut the damper off in half, let the heat build up, and away we go. Check it every now and then we'll come back and I'll show you what it looks like. So, some people actually shred this down. I just cut it up into, smaller cubes. The smaller you cut it, the more tallow you will actually get. Don't mind if you get a little bit of beef trimmings in there too. That really doesn't matter too much. You'll just get a little bit of extra beef flavor. And that's about it. All you're really going to do is take this, render it down inside of a pot on a lower temperature. You don't want to boil it or anything like that. You can actually hear it sizzling right now inside the kettle, which I'll show you. There it is there in the cast iron pot with a little bit of maple chunk that I had. I'm going to go ahead and give that a cover and shut my damper down. Now I have my bottom damper down on half, and I have my top damper up or down on half as well, because I don't really want to, like I said, cook this tallow down real quick. I want it to be able to simmer a little bit and really render down this fat in order to get the tallow out. And then I'll show you exactly what I do after that. Okay, I'll catch you back in a little while when I get some rendered down fat, some tallow. Welcome back. It's been about an hour, so I want to go ahead and check and see how this is doing. As we can see, I just put the lid on just slightly so we don't have grease and fat going everywhere. Just gonna take this lid off. Oh, there we go. Yep. I'm going to stir that around just a little bit. Oh yeah, you can see that. See, when it goes really crispy and hard like that, that's how you know that the fat has fully rendered out of it. And you get these squishy pieces like these. They're not quite ready yet. A lot of people eat this this beef like this. They call it beef cracklings. Quite tasty. Now I got the temp rocking here, not really sure what the temp is. I'm just going to go ahead and put that off like that. Throw the lid back on. I don't want the heat to get up too high. And I'm going to go grab another piece of maple and throw it on for some more smoking wood. And check back in about another hour. Alright, 2 hours in, and let's go have a look and see what we got going on here. Oh yeah, that is done. You can see how it's gone all to cracklings, basically. Yeah. It's that nice kind of smoky kind of color. And this is about as rendered down as about I want it. Looks delicious. So I'm going to go ahead and take this off the fire, let it cool a little bit, and then I'll show you the next step on what I do. Alright everybody, I got the pot taken off. I got a mason jar here with a small funnel. Now this is probably not necessary. You could take, this is cheesecloth is what I have here. and I just cut it to size. You could take your cheesecloth, put it over the top and use an elastic, but I like to use a funnel, and I just poke the cheesecloth down inside like that. I have a bowl here in order to take out the... Oh, let's reach over. Here we go. To take out the cracklings from the inside. You can use a small strainer if you like, but I just put them in a bowl. Sometimes I'll put some beef rub on there, a little bit of salt, and eat them later on. Let's go ahead and take the cover off here. This has been cooling down now for probably about 15 minutes. And we'll go ahead and move this over. And we're going to take out these beef cracklings. You can hear them, they're nice and crispy. That means that the fat has rendered out of them. And like I said, you can use a strainer for this if you want. I normally do have a small strainer, but I couldn't find it right off the bat. So I said, shag it. I'll just take them out like this. Now, I usually cook my eggs in the morning in beef tallow. My son absolutely loves it. You can store this in the fridge for months at a time. It's quite handy. You can use this instead of cooking oil. It does have a fairly low smoke point, I did find. So it's not really meant for really high heat cooking. But doing it this way, puts a nice little smoky flavor on things that you cook. It's actually quite nice. Now, you can also do this in a slow cooker, which is what a lot of people like to do. You put a little bit of salt. Some people put a little bit of water in there as well, in order to kind of, once you boil off the water, it may stop it from burning to the bottom of the pot. But I normally don't have too much of an issue with burning, because I don't usually burn my fire that hot. So I'm just going to go ahead and pour this right in here. And of course, spill it all over the place. That's just life. A little bit at a time. The cheesecloth then will take out any of those little small bits that are left over on the inside, and the funnel just kind of helps it go down inside. You should have this warm but not super hot, obviously. You want the tallow to be able to strain through the cloth and down inside your jar. Some people also, when they do this inside of a crock pot or a slow cooker, when you mix it down with water, you put a little bit of salt in there as well. You can scrape off the impurities in the bottom, and you can actually double filter it. So once you go through the first tallow process, then you put the tallow back in again with the impurities scraped off, and filter it down again. People use it for lip balm and skincare and soap and all sorts of weird and wonderful homemade things. There's channels like that all over YouTube, but I use it for cooking. Also, I like to then, after this tallow has basically gone all out of this pot, I'll take a paper towel. I'll just do the inside rim and the outside, and it protects the cast iron cookware, which is always nice. Gets a little bit slower as, of course, it filters down through. And a cheesecloth is really all you need. I don't have much left. There's probably almost a full jar here. Here we go. I'm going to let that strain down through, and you can see there's not many cracklings left over inside in there. I could probably take more of these out. Maybe that's what I'll do while I'm waiting for that to strain. Just take a few more of these out so we don't have them clogging up our cheesecloth. Here we go. I'll go back here and get this Almost done down through. Probably one more dunking should do it. And that's how I make tallow. Well, smoked beef tallow anyway. Now, I've never tried this with pork fat, but I'm sure you could probably do it the same way, I guess. I don't know what that would taste like. But I know these cracklings here, you put a little bit of salt, like I said, or your favorite rub, and it's actually quite nice. You can see that strains pretty slowly, which is kind of what we want. I want to be able to strain that pretty slowly. I don't know if you can see that too much. Yeah, we want to strain pretty slowly. It's only warm to the touch now. I actually don't really need these gloves, but you know, it's safety first and all that. Just going to tilt it to the side here. Like that's going to make a huge difference. I might have a piece of crackling actually cut down on the bottom here, but you can see the impurities. This goes right down inside the tube of the filter. So it gets caught way down here in the bottom, like way down here. And that's what allows it to filter pretty well. This will be the last pour here. Maybe one more. And we should get a full jar of tallow. And it comes out pretty clear. You know, I can speed this process up if I want to. I could pick some of this up and it would run down in past around that filter, or the cheesecloth in this case. Alright, I'll catch you back in a minute when this is done straining. Alright, we're done straining. This is what we're left with. As they call it, liquid gold. Still really hot. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to let this sit at a room temperature inside the house, because I'm outside right now. And we're going to wait till it solidifies just a little bit before we go to cap it off and throw it in the fridge. And then I'm going to show you what it looks like after it's solidified. So I'll catch you back in a bit. Hey everybody, back at you again. It's been a couple of hours, and as you can see, it is still liquidy, but starting to settle. It's cooled down enough. This is totally cool. I'm going to go ahead now and put the cover on. Don't mind the date. And I'm going to throw this in the fridge, and then tomorrow I will shoot what it looks like after I cook some breakfast. And you'll see exactly how smoked beef tallow should look. Catch you tomorrow. Hey everybody, welcome back. It is the next day, about the middle of the day now. This was done obviously way before then, but you know, I'm doing some stuff around the yard, and I have to put a new piece onto the smoker, which I'm going to do a full review on that maybe later today, maybe even next week. Who knows? We'll see. But anyway, this is our smoked beef tallow. Now, like I said yesterday, or actually earlier on in the video, you can actually mix this with a little bit of water and a little bit of salt, and then you kind of skim off the water and so on and so forth. It takes kind of some of the impurities out, and you can refilter it and whatever, but I only just filter it once. This is kind of what it looks like here, and I'll show you the consistency as well. So plastic fork, tallow, and you can kind of see that I'm just very lightly poking it. So really, if you've ever seen lard before, like pork lard, it's very similar consistency to that. It tastes wonderful, and the crackles left over were so good. I put some Cosmos salt and vinegar wing dust on it. It was fantastic. So now you know what to do with your leftover pork and, of course, beef fat. You can mix it up and grind it for burgers, but I always like to make tallow out of mine because it never goes astray around my household. Comments, questions, concerns, put them in the comments section below. Get cooking.